Welcome to the Enrolling and Managing Devices lesson of the Symantec Endpoint Protection Cloud Product Overview training course. This is the Enrolling and Managing Devices lesson. In this lesson, you'll learn the devices that SEP Cloud supports and the enrollment options for those devices. You'll also learn how to configure the prerequisite APNs or Apple Push Notification Service for Apple device enrollment. Finally, you'll learn how to enroll and manage devices from the portal and the SEP Cloud client. This is the Supported Devices and Enrollment Options Overview topic. After completing the topic, you will be able to list the devices that SEP Cloud supports and the enrollment options. SEP Cloud has Mobile Device Management, or MDM, enabled by default. This function allows SEP Cloud to perform tasks ranging from password management and inventory collection to locking or wiping a compromised device. As long as this setting is enabled, SEP Cloud installs the necessary MDM profiles automatically when devices are enrolled. You can choose to disable MDM. However, this setting can only be disabled when using SEP Cloud protection technologies with an existing third-party MDM solution. Once disabled, this action cannot be undone, and SEP Cloud loses all device management feature capabilities such as passcode enforcement, inventory, lock and wipe commands, as well as iOS device support, which requires MDM. The following device types can be enrolled: Windows 7, Windows 8 and 8.1, Windows 10, OS X version 10.9.5 and later, Android 4.2.2 and later, iOS 8 and later, Windows Server 2008 R2 Standard SP1, Windows Server 2012 R2 Standard, Windows Small Business Server 2011 Standard Edition, and Windows Server 2016. The Apple Push Notification Service, or APNs, enables Symantec to quickly communicate with Apple iOS and Mac OS X devices. In order for SEP Cloud to protect these devices, a Push SSL certificate must be created and downloaded into SEP Cloud. This only has to be done once for your organization's SEP Cloud instance. Then, all Apple devices can be enrolled with one certificate. To avoid issues in the future, follow these best practices. Never let the certificate expire. If the certificate expires, devices continue to operate normally, but they no longer trust APNs commands. SEP Cloud cannot monitor compliance settings, send commands, or change configuration settings. All of your Apple devices are effectively unmanaged. An expired certificate cannot be renewed. Instead, you must create a new certificate, and your users must re-enroll all of their managed Apple devices. Before the APNs certificate expires, SEP Cloud alerts you to help ensure that the certificate is renewed successfully. Create an Apple ID that is used only for APNs certificate management. An Apple ID is required to create or renew a certificate. The same Apple ID that you use to create a certificate must be used to renew the certificate. Create an Apple ID that meets the following criteria. The Apple ID is used only for APNs certificate management. The Apple ID is associated with a team or task email account or mailbox at your organization. Do not use a personal Apple ID or an Apple ID that is associated with an individual employee email account. And be sure that all necessary information about the Apple ID and the associated account or mailbox is documented, including ownership and access credentials. Never use an individual email account, as the loss of that account information would entail re-enrolling all devices enrolled using that account information. Google Cloud Messaging, or GCM, enables SEP Cloud to quickly communicate with Android mobile devices. GCM lets SEP Cloud push commands to Android devices instead of waiting for the device to check in. There is no administrator configuration required for GCM communication. The required setup is done automatically in SEP Cloud. Depending on the operating system, different components are installed during enrollment, as shown in this slide. The browsers you can use for enrollment are more limited than the ones you can use for administrative tasks. This slide lists the supported browsers for each operating system. You can install SEP Cloud over previous SEP Cloud, SEP.Cloud, and Norton security clients. In most cases, removal of previous security clients is done automatically. This is the Configuring APNs for Apple Device Enrollment topic. After completing the topic, you will be able to configure APNs for Apple device enrollment. To begin the process of creating the APNs certificate, navigate to the Settings Mobile Device Management page. This page contains an overview of the process, which you can then implement by following the suggested flow. The first step is to download a Certificate Signing Request, or CSR, from Symantec. This file is created by Symantec to be signed by Apple in the Apple Push Certificates portal. You need to download the CSR file and associate it with your company in SEP Cloud. The downloaded file name is apple.csr. You provide this file to Apple in the next step. The second step is to log on to the Apple Push Certificates portal and create an APNs certificate for use with SEP Cloud. To create the APNs certificate, sign in with your Apple ID, click the Create a Certificate button, and follow the prompts. The end result is that you download an APNs certificate named MDM_Symantec Corporation_certificate.pem. You will use this certificate in the next and final step. Be sure and use an Apple ID that is associated with a shared mailbox account at your company. Never use an individual email account, as the loss of that account information would entail re-enrolling all iOS devices enrolled using that account information. If necessary, create an Apple ID before you continue. The final step is to take the APNs certificate you just created and upload it into SEP Cloud for use with Apple products. To upload the file, you will need your Apple ID. To upload the APNs certificate into SEP Cloud, enter your Apple ID email address, browse to the APNs certificate, locate the certificate, and click the Upload button. After the final step, certificate details are shown, and the certificate can now be used to enroll devices. Among the more important information provided is the expiration date of the certificate and the Apple ID used to create it. This is the Enrolling Devices topic. After completing the topic, you will be able to enroll devices. To enroll a device as an administrator, on the device, use a supported browser to sign into SEP Cloud. Navigate to Groups, Users, and Devices. Select the plus icon and select Enroll this device. Please note that when end users sign in, they immediately see the Enroll this device option. They don't navigate to an additional page. Next, follow the instructions and prompts. The exact steps vary by operating system. Detailed instructions are provided on the enrollment pages. After the necessary software is installed, the status of a device is set to Pending. The Device Details page provides the last known status of a device with a pending status. The User Portal provides a simple view that allows the user to enroll or unenroll their devices and reset their password. During the enrollment process, the user sets the device as being company-owned or personally owned. A personal device is managed like a company-owned one, but cannot be completely wiped. A company-owned device can be completely wiped. Note that once a device is enrolled, you cannot change the ownership of a device from personal to company-owned or vice versa. When a user account is deleted, the personal devices associated with that account are unenrolled, and the company-owned devices are moved to an unowned state. Unowned company devices maintain management capabilities. SEP Cloud allows users to enroll their devices without approval from an administrator. To enroll a device, a user needs to open the user portal from the device that is to be enrolled, select Enroll this device, and then follow the instructions on the screen. The specific details of the enrollment procedure depend upon the device type. The window in this slide is the first screen the user sees after logging on to the user portal. The enrollment procedure detailed in the following slides is for Windows 7 and 8. OS X and iOS follow the same basic steps. Windows 10 has an extra step immediately after you click Enroll this device, where you enter your credentials in the Settings, Accounts, Work Access page on your Windows 10 device. After clicking Enroll this device, the user is prompted to choose whether the device is a personally owned device or a company-owned device. After selecting the device ownership, the user is ready to enroll the device. Clicking Start Enrollment begins the process. When the user clicks Start Enrollment, the initial client install package download begins, as shown in the slide. To Depending on the user's browser settings, the user may have to choose the client download location. The file name is sepc_setup.exe. After the initial client stub is downloaded, it begins the process of installing the full SEP Cloud client. The install process involves downloading additional components from Symantec, totaling about 100 megabytes in size, as shown in the slide. After download and install, the client is operational. The first thing the client will do is contact Symantec for essential updates. Please note the following about enrollment. There currently is no clear indication in SEP Cloud that device enrollment fails due to connectivity issues. To resolve this issue, look for Windows devices that have been in the pending state for more than a few hours. Then check the security history of the Windows device. If you see Command Enrolled started, but not Command Enroll completed, then unenroll the device from the portal, uninstall the client from the machine, and start enrollment again. In some cases, a newly enrolled OS X device still shows the state as pending after the initial scan has completed. To resolve this issue, run Live Update and restart the Mac machine. After the restart, the device should start showing at-risk or secure status based on compliance of the policy which has been applied. This is the Enrolling Android Devices topic. After completing the topic, you will be able to enroll Android devices. There are a few more steps involved to enroll Android devices, as detailed in the following slides. The initial steps are the same. The user chooses Enroll this device, and then chooses if the device is company-owned or personal. Next, the user should tap Start Enrollment to begin the installation of the SEP Cloud agent. When Google Play opens to the agent page, the user should tap Install, accept the app permissions, and then after the agent is installed, the user should tap Open. As part of the installation, the user will have to choose to activate Device Administrator, as shown in the slide. Then, registration can take a few minutes. The user should wait until the browser reopens automatically to continue. After the app has completed installation, the user is returned to SEP Cloud User Portal, and the process is complete. This is the Server Enrollment Creating Windows Installation Packages topic. After completing the topic, you will be able to create installation packages for Windows devices. To enroll Windows servers, you must deploy an installation package. You can also deploy an installation package for Windows desktops and laptops, instead of letting your users enroll these devices themselves. Please note the following. When you use an installation package to enroll a device, the device is assigned to the default group automatically. If a server belongs in a different group, you must transfer it manually. Servers are shared resources and are never assigned directly to users. If a client device belongs to a user, you must transfer it to that user manually. To download a Windows installation package, perform the following steps. Go to Settings, Windows Installation Package, and then select the package type. A client package is intended for desktops and laptops where maximum protection is the highest priority. A server package is intended for servers, which require high performance. The server package does not include intrusion prevention or the firewall. Devices installed through a package are added to the default group. You can use the Change Group option to choose a different group. Click Download Package to fetch a helper file, which then retrieves the installation files and places a shortcut to their location on your desktop. A group-specific package can also be downloaded directly from the Groups page. To install the package, go to the SEPC Installation Files folder and select either the sepc_install.exe file or the SEPC Deployment MSI and MST files, depending on how you want to install the package. To install the protection client directly on the device, put the package on a network share, USB device, or other share mechanism. On the device, run sepc_install.exe. This command automatically includes the information that the client needs to communicate with your environment. To install the protection client by pushing an Active Directory GPO, create your Group Policy Object GPO in the usual way. In addition to the MSI file, you also need the MST file. The MST file includes the tokens that must be passed to connect the protection client to SEP Cloud. This is the Managing Devices topic. After completing the topic, you will be able to manage devices. You can select multiple devices and perform actions with a single command. For example, if several devices are at risk, you can multi-select them and then initiate a scan on all of them at once. Common actions across device types are operating system dependent. An action may not be supported across all devices selected. As an administrator, the Unenroll device command allows you to unenroll a device if it is no longer being used. Users can also unenroll their own personal devices. The SEP Cloud clients do not get uninstalled when Windows and Mac devices are unenrolled. If these devices have to be re-enrolled, then the client has to be manually uninstalled. Some important facts about unenrollment include: end users can unenroll their personal devices, but not the company-owned devices that they enroll. Administrators can unenroll any device. Unenrolled devices are no longer managed by Symantec SEP Cloud. If you delete a user account, all of the user's devices are automatically unenrolled. Note that after a device is unenrolled, it is hidden from the default view on the Devices tab. To view the list of unenrolled devices, select the Unenrolled status from the Filter dropdown. You can remotely lock a device to prevent misuse. After a device is locked, the user's password is required to unlock it. This feature applies to iOS, Android, and Mac devices. Mac devices have to be unlocked with a static password that is provided when the Mac device is locked. Be sure and note the password. It will not be displayed later. Mac devices will also be restarted immediately with the user losing any unsaved changes. You can wipe a company-owned device that is lost or stolen. Wiping unenrolls the device and restores it to factory defaults. Use it only as a last resort. This feature applies to iOS, Android, OS X, and Windows 10 devices only. Depending upon the operating system, the SEP Cloud client interface is accessed by double-clicking the SEP Cloud icon in the notification area. Right-clicking the SEP Cloud icon brings up a menu of tasks such as running a quick scan or running live update. The four main areas the user can access and configure are Scans, Live Update, History, and Advanced. Note that the features and capabilities that are available to the user in the client are operating system dependent. The options shown in the following slides are for Windows. Clicking the Quick Scan button brings up the Quick Scan interface, which allows the user to view the progress and results of the scan. Clicking the Live Update button initiates the Live Update process to download the latest virus definitions and other product updates as required. Clicking the History button brings up the Security History window, which contains a log of events that have occurred on the client, along with any recommended actions that should be taken in the case of a problem. Clicking More Options provides advanced details on the event highlighted. Clicking the Advanced button brings up options that the user can disable if the administrator has empowered the user to do so. The general categories that can be configured are Computer, Network, and Web, as shown in this slide. In this lesson, you learned the supported devices and enrollment options, how to configure APNs for iOS device enrollment, how to enroll devices, and how to manage devices.